Well, good morning everyone and welcome to PwC's Federal Budget Breakfast. It's just terrific to see over 2,000 people out here this morning, getting up early and coming along to be a part of the conversation. I think it highlights the importance of this budget and also the important stage of the cycle that Australia is in as a country. Firstly, I would just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land and pay respect to elders past and present. I'd also very much like to acknowledge our special guests, the Honourable John Howard, the Honourable Tim Nicholls, MP, Treasurer of Queensland and Minister for Trade, and several other Queensland Cabinet members who are also here with us this morning. I'd also very much like to thank NAB for their major sponsorship of this morning and who is a traditional partner of this event, and we very much thank NAB for all of their ongoing support. I'd also very much like to welcome you all, many clients, friends, in some instances families, and obviously clients here this morning. Well, what a tough budget. But also, I think, on balance, very pleasing to see some much needed investment in infrastructure and innovation, which will definitely help spur the growth agenda in this country. Every part of Australian society does look like it's in for some pain. Everyone is kind of taking a hit, from big business through to the wider community. Whilst there is no doubt that this budget will be unpopular with some, we do believe that it is a necessary first step in preventing a looming fiscal crisis. There has been a lot of rhetoric and commentary in the past few weeks about how well Australia is placed on a number of fiscal measures compared to the rest of the world. And this can oftentimes make it difficult for everybody, not just in business, but the average punter on the street, to see why this budget needed to be as tough as it has been. However, I would say from a PwC perspective, the data does show very clearly if we kept our expenditure and our revenue the way it is, kind of the status quo, our federal and state debt would exceed our GDP in the next 25 years. Our economics team are currently crunching the numbers and are trying to understand the impact from the announcements that were made last evening, but we do believe that there will be an improvement in these numbers. Like us, we do think that business will welcome this budget and it will provide a much needed boost in consumer confidence and sentiment. In fact, NAB's latest business confidence index rose 2 points last month, indicating a shrugging off of the tough budget rhetoric. And there is good reason, I think, and PwC thinks, for business to be encouraged. 83% of Australian CEOs told us in a recent survey that the government should make infrastructure its #1 priority. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Hockey has listened. With more than $11 billion in new funds allocated to infrastructure projects, some obviously here in Queensland, this is an effective stimulus to a slowing economy due to the tapering of the mining boom. Treasurer Nicholls, who is here with us this morning obviously, and his cabinet have signalled their bold vision to recycle some of their ageing assets to unlock funds for more projects. And I imagine that they very much will welcome their federal counterparts' commitment to boost jobs and investments in the same manner. It is also tremendous to see the government investing in medical research and laying down a goal to actually be globally best in class with regard to medical research, a noble and very worthwhile cause. We also very much welcome the new wage subsidy restart, which gives businesses $10,000 if they employ an Australian aged 50 and over who has been on income support for more than 6 months. This is a terrific initiative to improve productivity and also diversity in the workplace. But whilst this budget is a step in the right direction, we do believe that it must only be the start. It is the start, and it needs to be the start. The next step, we believe, must be a fundamental review of the revenue side of the equation, which results in major tax reform. This will be no easy task and will take tremendous courage and bold leadership, but it is paramount for Australia and Australians and the future generations to come. Our managing partner from Tax and Legal, Tom Seymour, will discuss this further in his address. In summary, this budget makes all Australians feel the crunch, yes, but it also supports a vision for a more prosperous and sustainable future that we should all be very proud about. By the time we conclude this morning, you will have heard from a number of different perspectives from some of Australia's top commentators and business leaders. And I very much encourage you to contribute to the conversation by using Twitter, using the hashtags on the screens. You can also submit a question to the panel by using the Ask You app, and instructions you should find on your table. We will now break for 15 minutes while we enjoy some breakfast, and then our managing partner from Brisbane, Paul Lindstrom, will introduce our speakers. In closing, thank you very much for coming, and I very much encourage you to participate this morning. Good morning.